All right, y'all, how's it going? We are going to do something slightly different today as far as catching bait. Catfishing part of it's still going to be the same. But the white bass have been pretty tough catching them on the main river where I've been catching them in creek mouths and stuff like that. So we're going to utilize a technique it's no secret. I mean, a lot of people do it, but I'm going to pull crankbaits in this cove here. Hopefully we can get enough area to where we can pull these baits. Shouldn't be too bad. I've seen 3 boats out here, but I think we should have enough room to do what I want to do anyway. But we're gonna again target, well, we're gonna try to get some crappie, we're gonna try to get some white bass, some yellow bass, stuff like that. So we will see what we can't get into. I've done this before. I did this last year when the water, because summertime these fish, they get a little deep. So pulling these crankbaits, which I'll show it to you once I finally get over here to where I want to start. And it's kind of neat. It's kind of a neat deal. Little just cheap crankbaits. You know, you don't need much to fish like that. And if you lose them, you know, who really cares? But like I said, I'm going to get up here. I'm going to get to where I can get started. I don't know where that. I'm trying to make sure where all these boats are so I don't get in their way. Because a lot of them are anchored up catching these crappie. So we're going to ease on out here, and I'm going to try to get probably on the back side of where I like to go, and we'll just keep making, you know, trips back and forth. Because I think that boat is out of my way. Yeah, I think we're going to be good. But anyway, I'll explain more once we get set up. We get out where I need to be. Show you what I'm using. Okay, so we're going to be pulling these things at roughly about 1.5 miles an hour, right around there. Nothing special. All they are is just, I got some they're just old cheap Academy little crankbaits. They dive down to about 6 to 8 feet. Put them on a little bit lighter line. This is 8-pound test. I can get them just a little bit deeper. And yeah, we're just gonna cast them a good cast throw behind the boat. Get going. Hopefully catch us some bait. That's the idea. All right, a little too fast. These rods, I got a couple Chase and Jack rods. They're medium action. I got a couple All-Star rods, which I kind of like them. You know, they're just ones that I happen to find, whether they were on sale or whatever the case may be. So there's nothing special. You don't need anything special to do this. I got 4 different colors out here, and we'll see which ones are hitting the best. Then with any luck, we will catch us some fish. Oop, there's one. Looks like a dang catfish. I think it is a little catfish. There's one. That's a little catfish. This actually feels like another little catfish. Yeah, I think this one's a little catfish too. I don't know what this is. I don't know, that's a little drum. A little drum. Little bitty old channel cat. Yeah, dog. Little bitty thing. Yeah, unfortunately, there's a bunch of them up here too. There we go. Yep, that's exactly what I'm after right there, y'all. That's exactly, I'll get in the boat. That's exactly what I'm after. Look at that slab there, y'all. Heck yeah. Ain't no reason to measure him. He is definitely 10 inches. That's exactly what I'm after. Look at that. He's gonna be good. All right, come on now. There's one. Nice yellow bass. Heck yeah. Nice yellow bass. Nice yeller bass. All right, y'all, we finally got some bait. Yeah, I had to go around quite a few places to find it, but what was good, and I'm glad I did, because what it allowed me to do is it allowed me to catch some bigger bait, which I've got some pretty good sized white bass. I had to sit there and make sure they weren't stripers. I mean, that's how big some of these are. And so I guess what we're doing today is we're running big baits. So that's gonna be what we do today. Because I got this boat, I don't know which way he's going. I don't know what he's doing. Either way. But yeah, like I said, we're gonna run big baits today. I mean, that's what I got. I mean, obviously I could trim them down to where they're not so big, but we're gonna start off dragging some pretty good sized baits. I just swapped out all my floats to the bigger EVA floats and stuff. So we got this north wind, which it shouldn't bother us too much. It's not too bad today, so it shouldn't bother us too much. But I still got my drift sock out anyway, so we could. It doesn't look like we have any current just yet. I mean, I don't think we do. But either way, we're gonna go ahead and get some baits out, because this is a spot that I have fished before. It didn't produce anything last time I was out, but doesn't mean there won't be fish here today. So let me get some baits out. And I don't know if I should start off with 4 ounces or 5 ounces. Like I said, I don't see no current, so I think 4 ounces would be fine. I'll know as soon as I get this down. Just look at that. Look at that white bass head. That thing was that's a good size one. Said I had to make, it doesn't matter because for, here in Tennessee, striper's got to be 15 inches to keep, and he was definitely 15 inches for sure. That's what, the other thing it did is I measured him, but he didn't look like a striper. So let's get this head down there. Let's see if we can't drag us up a big one today. God dog, that's a big piece of bait. All of them are big pieces of bait. But we're gonna do it. Because the thinking behind that is, and I've actually done this every year, is when these fish, which, they're probably a little bit further along in the post spawn than, they were last week or whatever the case may be, but what they like is they want a meal. They want something to eat. Like them fish, if you go back to some of them bigger fish I caught, they were still a good fish, but they were just, their bellies were empty. They didn't have anything in them. So the last couple of years that I've been, fishing the post spawn as heavy as I have, what I found out is, you run a bigger bait, you're liable to get a good sized fish. Now I don't know if it's because the bigger piece of bait, puts off a bigger scent bubble or whatever you want to call it. That could be the case too. But also at the same time, I know these fish are wanting a meal. They're wanting to feed up, and this is the time of year where they start hitting bigger baits. So we're gonna take that theory and we're gonna run with it and see what happens. I could be 100% wrong, or it could work out really well. We'll see. Yeah, we ain't got no current. I don't think we're gonna get any current till like 2 o'clock, according to the flow schedule. So if that's accurate, we got a while. It's just now 10 o'clock. But nothing says you can't catch fish. Because I've caught plenty of fish when there's no current. Just look at that bait. It's a good chunk. Hope there's something out there that wants it. That would be ideal. All right, looks like 4 ounces doing a good job holding it down there. Yeah, like you said, we got this north wind. It's not too bad. It was kind of breezy earlier this morning, but it's not too bad now. Of course, that sun's getting up, so it's getting a little warm too. But we are going to give it a shot, see if these big baits are going to do the trick. I'm going to run just a little bit shallower today too. I'm going to try to stay in that 40-foot range instead of worrying about going deep and all that stuff. Go back to just kind of straddling the bottom of the ledge. So I got baits on top of the ledge. You got some right down the middle of the ledge. And I'll have obviously a couple out here close to the channel. There's no way that was a fish. That bait's bigger than that fish if it's a small fish. Yeah, there's no way that's a fish. And he might still be on there. I got he is on there. How did he get that bait in his mouth? God, dog. That's the whole reason why I put big baits on, so they wouldn't get it. But this one did for sure. Well, at least it gets the skunk out of the boat, providing I can get him in. But so I thought for sure he was just hitting it, you know, because he's not a big fish at all. I don't understand that. That's a big piece of bait. God, dog. Oh man, golly, that I should have just let him take it. Man, come on, Micah, what are you doing? Should have just let him take it. That was that bite there. He was just going faster, just slightly faster than what the boat's going forward. Should have just let him take it. I mean, these are big pieces of bait, man. I can't believe. Make sure we're not going towards the bank, 'cause we are. I don't understand it. But to get the skunk out of the boat, we got to get that done first. I don't care what size that one is. I don't know what you planned on doing with that bait once you got it, buddy. So like I said, these fish are just hungry, and they will pretty much attack anything, I guess. Yeah, they'll just attack anything. I mean, that bait's bigger than your mouth, buddy. I don't I don't know what you planned on doing with it. I mean, just look. I mean, how is he going to eat that? But either way, you're a pretty looking thing for sure. I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, just look at that chunk of bait. Like I said, that's the whole reason why I went with these bigger baits, so we can not have these little ones hitting it. Well, I'm sure they were going to hit it, but you know what I mean, get hooked up. So I want big ones. Where's the fish? God, dog. Man, on that big piece of white bass. I mean, that's good though. I don't know how big he is, if he is at all. So I moved out, I was dragging shallow, then I just moved out to the deeper water, so. And he hit on the far outside board, but I don't think he's a monster. I don't think he's a dink, but I don't think he's a monster. So I wanted to hug this side of the bank, because most of the time I drag this, I'm on that side, so I wanted to, it's just a lot snaggier on this side. That's why I want to hit it today, just to see what's over there. Let's see, he's just down there twirling. Don't want him to get tangled up in that drift sock. It's the biggest thing. Here, let's see if I can get you to come over here, buddy. Nope, get out of that drift sock. Don't get in that drift sock. Here we go. I mean, staying down like he's a decent fish. Of course, the boat's still moving too, so. He dang sure wanted it though. What I was doing is, oh yeah, he's not a bad one. He's not a monster, but he's not a bad one. Wanted him a piece of white bass. Come here, buddy. Another post-spawn male, just skinny. Just skinny. Oh yeah. Another post-spawn male, heck yeah. Yeah, look at this dude. He's not a bad one. But you see how skinny they are? So he's not long. I mean, he's healing up. You know, you can see that he's got scars and stuff all over top of his head, but he's definitely healing up. But just skinny. Like I say, that's why I'm throwing big baits today. I want these fish to feel like they're getting a meal. Thank you, sir. You good? You good, buddy? I'm gonna hold you here for a second. That was a long ride for you. Yeah, that was a long ride for you, buddy. Ready? There he goes. Perfect. Yeah, like I said, I was dragging that because what that is over on that, before that green buoy, it's kind of like it's a slick bank, I guess. Has a little bit of, I say a little bit, has a lot of bit of structure on it. So I was trying to weave in and out of it so I didn't get hung up too bad. I did get hung up a few times, but I mean, outside of a few little bites, I didn't get nothing up there. That's what was, it's like, man, should have got something, but nope. Well, that's all right, that one'll work. Oop, there's a fish. You gonna take it? He's still playing with it. Right there, right there. Oh yeah, take and drag. On that big head. If he just stays pinned, that's a big piece of bait. Oh man. And he don't feel like a big one either. But he sure took it like he was. Heck yeah. That's a big head. Unless he's just swimming to me, I guess that's possible too. But he hit that thing and was taking drag. Yeah, he's just coming up too fast. Yeah, he's just coming up too fast. I mean, the way he hit it, I thought he was a much bigger fish than that. Yeah, I thought he was a much bigger fish than that. Well, there he's wanting to pull drag. He just wasn't fighting. Old crazy-headed blue is what he is. He's not that big either. He's just mean, y'all. Oh, he just barely hooked too. I mean, just barely hooked. That makes sense. Because that was a big piece of bait. So that definitely makes sense that he's barely hooked. I mean, he's not big enough to net, but he's just barely hooked. I don't want him popping off and we don't see him. I mean, he's like I said, he's not that big. Like I said, he was just barely hooked right there on the skin. But hook's hooked, Bubba. I appreciate that on that big white bass head. Yes, not a bad one. Definitely not what we're after, but that just goes to show you them bigger baits that catch these littler fish. Thank you, buddy. Go on down there. Heck yeah. But I know he wasn't no 50, 60 pounder, but by God, he sure showed some heart, or she did. That was a female. Right there and grab that big old head and then pull drag. That gets you exciting right there. Yeah, I wonder how long we've had this fish on. Board's been acting weird a while. These fish are something else. They are something else, y'all. I mean, it's just been acting weird. You know, it acts like it was hung up, so it just kind of hangs back. And did he come off? He may have just come off. No, he's still there. You know, so it wasn't. It's not like he bit it and took off with it. He didn't do none of that. Now what are you doing? These fish are just unreal. You have got to pull harder there, buddy. You have got to pull harder. And you knocked off my piece of bait. How did you do that? You weren't even big enough to get it. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Has he never hit it? He never hit it. So I bet you this whole time, well, I guess technically I was dragging a real big piece of bait. Yeah, I'll get you released here in a minute, buddy. Y'all have got to pull harder. Yeah, you got to pull harder, buddy. This little bitty thing. You just down there just chilling. You ain't doing much of nothing. Unreal. I think that's been, I don't know how many fish that's happened to. You know, usually you'll see them bite, you know, like you'll see the board move or something like that, you know, and that's pretty much it. You know, that I expect. But the whole time I'd been watching the board, it just kind of, you'll see it just kind of go back and it'll stay there for a while, then it'll come up in line and, you know. But then again, we had a 50-pound flathead do the exact same thing. These old fish are weird sometimes. Oop, oop. There's a fish. Did he come off? Yeah, he sure did. God dog it. Dang it. Yeah, that's my problem. I'm putting on heavier weights because I wasn't touching the bottom with them 4 ounces. Dang it, dang it, dang it. Dang it. I hate it when that happens. But unfortunately, it does happen. There's one right there. God, dog. It's a good fish here, y'all. Good fish here. Ah, of course. Man, he smoked it. He smoked it. I'm sorry y'all didn't get to see that because I'm standing in the dang way. But yeah, he smoked that board. Heck yeah. Hey, now I got 2 rods out of the water. I was gonna reel this one in anyway so I could change the weight out. So like I said, like I said earlier in the video, I always fish kind of on towards that side. I don't drag this side much at all. Glad I come over here. I mean, we ain't been, catching monster fish, but yeah, he hit that thing and he was peeling drag. Angry fish. Now it's kind of a good thing I got them rods out. He's swimming all the way over there now. Because we just now, well, that's the reason why I'm swapping the weights out, because we just now started getting good current. So a lot of that has to do with this bite, Like I said earlier, God, dog. When they're on your furthest board, it's a lot of work getting them back in. Especially if they got any size to them. Come on, buddy. Yeah, I mean, he's... Yeah, I mean, he's a decent fish. He's nothing to shake a stick at. But I love the way you bit, buddy. That is a fact. Heck yeah. Heck yeah. I mean, that old triple threat had him perfect. Right behind the tooth patch and everything. Oh yeah. Thank you, buddy. Boy, look at this dude. I mean, he's not a monster, but boy, he sure wants to be one day. That's a fact. It's another male, another post spawn. Got the marks on him. Well, I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. You doing all right? I didn't pull you from the deep. You were kind of on the shallow end. Make sure you're all right. You good, buddy? Yeah, I'd say you are. I'd say you are. Heck yeah. Sitting here trying to take care of rods. And see that one? That one was probably on the bottom, since like I said, it's up there on the shallow end. I'm gonna swap that weight out anyway, just to make sure. All right, y'all, I'm gonna go ahead and close this one out. Man, it was not a fire day. We had rain come in. We had, pretty much a cold front come through, and you can see it's fairly high skies today with that north wind. Like I said, most of this river faces north, so when we get a north wind, it kind of gets rough. And This spot here is not too bad, but I know when I go around the corner, it's going to be a little bumpy ride getting back to the truck. But yeah, they kicked up the current. It just kind of seemed like once they kicked up the current, the bite quit. So like I said, you got that. It's, well, what it seems to be, and I don't know if this is everywhere along this river, but the sections that I've been fishing, it seems like as soon as they turn on the current and you can actually start seeing it, you can feel it in the boat, you've got about an hour, maybe 2 hours right there where fish are just, they're hammering. You can see them, because I could see the ones, earlier this morning or earlier this afternoon that I could see them, you could just barely see them on the bottom on my 2D. And once that started happening, you could start seeing a lot more coming up off the bottom, or they're sitting above the bottom. So, but like this stretch here, and I could probably run to a different stretch and find some more fish, but it's getting that time of day. I'm gonna go ahead and head to the house. But yeah, it's just kind of neat, to see that stuff, and that's how it's been. That's how it's been the last few trips. I've got about a couple hour window where I could catch some fish, catch some decent fish. We didn't catch no monsters today, but we caught some decent fish. So ended up catching, I think it was 4 or 5 little ones. I don't know how, because I was using some big chunks of bait. So it just goes to show that they're hungry, just like the rest of them. They're as aggressive. But we're gonna, like I said, we'll come back out again and just keep plucking away at them. We ended up catching a couple more post-spawn males that were still skinny. So I'm inclined to think that, man, that spawn was pushed back quite a bit further than I thought. As I figured we'd start seeing, some of the bigger fish I've caught. I figured we'd start seeing them, plumped up a little bit more, but they're not. So we're just gonna keep plugging away at it. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like always, I always like having you guys come along with these fishing trips, whether they're good or bad. It's still a fun day for me, and I hope it's at least a fun 25 to 30 minutes for y'all. But either way, I appreciate you watching this one, and I'll catch you on the next one.